What is going on, you guys? So today I want to hop into a super quick video for you, talking to you about why, if you have someone who comes to you in a vulnerable state and they're sharing something personal or private with you, there's something important that you need to do when you're having that kind of conversation. And here's why, right? Sometimes it's very vulnerable, very personal, and sometimes it could start an argument as well. Now, I'm not saying to walk on eggshells around people. What I am saying is to treat them with kindness. And here's one super important thing that will really help you in these conversations. Are you ready? So if someone comes to you to share something, like they had a really hard day, they're going through a tough time, they want to tell you about their situation, right? Or tell you how they've been feeling about your relationship in a very open, honest way that you think could potentially start a bit of like a disagreement or even an argument. I'll say one thing first is that there's no excuse to argue with people. 100% zero excuse, right? I don't care how mad you are. You need to learn to stay calm and always have a level head so that you can effectively get through that conversation, right? So instead of attaching to those emotions, you can have the conversation. If you can stay calm right away, or you can let them know, hey, I need a little bit of time to cool off and get my head straight so we can come back to this conversation and talk it out, right? Boom, easy. So that way you can return, and again, no excuse for arguing. That way there's nothing wrong with disagreeing with each other, right? You don't have to agree on everything to have a great relationship with someone. Now, the other element to this is if someone comes to you sharing some feedback about your relationship or something that is very personal to them, like they're going through a tough time, I would encourage you to ask these questions before they get started. Or maybe even after, actually, right? So either way you do it, what I would recommend is you ask them, hey, like this sounds like it might be like a really tough situation. So do you want me to listen? Or do you want me to assure you, like comfort you, maybe like affirm you? Or do you want me to provide feedback or some kind of advice, maybe, or even constructive criticism? Like what would you like out of this conversation? And more than likely, they're going to thank you for doing that, by the way. Because they'll probably say, like, or they'll think at least, like, no one's ever asked me that before. So thank you for being, like, very, like, empathetic and very aware, right? Because that way, because some people, like, a lot of guys, I'm guilty of this, we like to offer advice. We're very logical. We want to offer advice, fix things, solve things when someone comes to us with a problem. Now, sometimes, especially if it's your partner, like a girl you're dating, a girlfriend, wife, etc., sometimes she just wants you to listen. Or if it's your friend, someone else, right, they just want you to listen. So that's why this question is so important. And you might be able to tell that if they share all this stuff with you and you haven't asked that yet, you can still ask the question at the end, right? So basically, that sounds like a really tough situation. I'm sorry to hear that you're going through that. Or like, it seems like these feelings are, a bit difficult to navigate for you. Do you prefer that I just like heard you out, like really listened? Do you prefer that I provide some feedback? Do you prefer, maybe just some emotional validation? Or do you want some like advice or constructive criticism? Or maybe just some thoughts, like we could have a conversation about it. I could ask you about it. Maybe that'll help you clear your head, right? It's like almost like when someone journals. Sometimes when you verbalize, that's all they needed was to get it out so they could get their thoughts clear, gain clarity on the situation. So super short video for you here. It's a very like nuanced topic, but I think this is going to help you a lot in basically any of your relationships if something like this happens. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next one. You got this, bro.